What's up, Foothills? This is our normal little post-tournament interview where we sat down with the top three anglers, and luckily, all top three were willing to come out and join us tonight. And we're just going to talk to these guys a little bit. Some of them are fishing the QC event this weekend, the Catawba Clash. So I've told them to share as much information or as little information as they would like. But we got Mike Barnes. We got Michael Duran in here, second place finish, and Mr. Nick Huddleston is out to eat with his family. He came in third, and we're going to start it off with him and just get him to tell us a little bit about his day and, talk about whatever he wants to talk about as far as the event. And so, Nick, we'll just throw it over to you, and you tell us how Saturday ended up for you.
Alrighty. Yeah, so it was really hot. Even though the sun was behind the clouds most of the day, it got brutally hot, and I ended up catching. I probably had a limit by around 6:30, 7 o'clock, but I just never uploaded fish because they were all 12 and 13 inches. And then finally, I found a couple of spots out on the main lake that produced some fish that were on some pretty deep brush piles on a shaky head, and just messed around with that for pretty much the rest of the day, and ended up, I think I caught probably 20 or 30 fish total, but I only got 3 in the boat that were above 16 inches. So
Wow.
for the most part, that's pretty good for a Wiley in the dead of summer. But I lost a pretty good fish right before I caught my 19 3/4. It ended up being a lot bigger than I thought it was after I set the hook, and I thought it was a catfish at first, and it ended up as it was sitting on top, and I went to reach for my net, and it took off and pulled the drag, and ended up taking me into a brush pile in probably 8 feet. I could see it on the live scope, just swimming around down there, stuck on the brush pile.
Really?
So I tried for like 4 or 5 minutes to get it unstuck, and finally I felt it pop off, and the second it popped off, it just dove again and ended up breaking. Yeah. So it was probably a 5 or 6 pounder. It wasn't huge, but it was still pretty good size. But that brush pile definitely damaged the line after I got it in. You could feel where the abrasions had happened and stuff. But I right back up under the same dock, and was surprised to catch another, a 19 3/4 right after that. After I had lost that one, so that was a breath of relief, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after that, I caught one other fish and moved around a lot of deep spots and just couldn't find anything else. So that's how my day ended, was on that 19 3/4.
What time was that you caught that fish?
That was around 11:30, I think. So we had about 2.5 hours left.
Mm-hmm.
After that, the sun came out and everything just shut down pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about the time it got hot. It was actually nice until 10:30 or 11.
Oh, I was sweating the whole day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you fish out of a Hobie, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling these other boys, I was looking at their fish pictures, and they're like, their board's up on their lap, like on their thighs, and I'm like, and Nick was doing it right. He had his board in the floorboard, but he had room to do that too. So
yeah, even with I have a 14 now, but even with my 12, when it didn't fit, I would just turn it a little bit diagonally to fit it in there, because man, I've had too many Hobie tournaments and stuff where you can't clip fish, where the fish will even in the Hobie last year, I lost like a 24.5-inch fish, put board, and it flopped out of the deck of the boat and into the water. So I try to avoid it.
Yeah, man, that'll ruin your whole week, not just the day.
Yeah, that ruined the whole month, because that would have given me a first place in the CKA and big fish. So that was a heartbreaker. But
Well, you fished with the didn't you win a tournament a few years ago up at Kerscott?
Yeah, I went up there a few years ago. That was
You did.
all bed fishing and stuff for me. Nobody else was bed fishing. I just found them early in the morning and caught like a 22 within the first 30 minutes, and then I just searched the banks for the rest of the day. And I think my 5 fish limit was like 94 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for that lake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some big fish up there. That's what we were talking, a spot can win a kayak tournament. I mean, because they can be 24 inches long and weigh 4.25 pounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, largemouth, he can be a big old sucker and not be 22.
Yeah.
I'll pull up your fish first here. Let's see. So there's your 19 3/4.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spotted bass.
Yeah, that was a pain in the butt to get on the board too.
yeah, I bet he was mean.
Oh yeah.
And let's see, here's the 17. That's a nice kayak tournament fish though. 17, you catch 3, you catch 5 17s, you got a chance.
Yeah, just need one kicker usually.
Yeah, that's right. 16.75. And Tourney X, they got the feature where it kind of tells what your limit would have, estimated weight was 9.75 pounds, which maybe, I don't know. That's yeah.
I was spotted bass. Probably like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 19 3/4 was probably like 2.5, and then the others were about a pound and a half each. So.
But yeah, that was I mean, a 50-inch limit is pretty good in a 3-fish deal. A 660, that obviously that's about as good as you can get in a 3-fish limit. But I fish with QC and I fish with those guys out of Raleigh some, and the 3-fish limit kind of makes it a whole different little deal. I mean, you catch your three for your limit, and then what do? You just try to start chasing bigger bites, but it keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
But so you're fishing this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, we wish you.
I'm accidentally fishing it. I've signed up for it 2 months ago, thinking it was the big bass tournament. Now I'm kind of obligated to fish it.
Yeah. How are you doing? How are you doing on the AOI and stuff over there?
Not too bad. I haven't really pre-fished all year because I was going to school at UNCC the first half of the year, and I'll be doing that here in the next few weeks again too. But I think I'm like sitting in like 7th or 8th AOI. Yeah.
Well, that's where you need to be if the TOC is really what you want to make.
Yeah. I've been pre-fishing for the event coming up though, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, homie, we wish you the best.
Grazie.
If you get to where you need to pop out of here, you just feel free.
Okay. All right.
If you need to eat your noodles and stuff.
We're eating Chinese food here, so.
Well, Michael, we'll kick it over to you, man, and you can tell us about your day. And like I said, share. Michael says he's fishing this weekend too, Nick. So, share as little or as much as information as you would like, my friend.
All right. Well, so last week, the week before, I went down to pre-fish, and I did not catch I didn't catch a single fish. I had fished 2 different ramps, and one of them I caught 2, and then I switched ramps. I tried that one. I didn't catch a single fish, but the boat traffic was way less like hectic up there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna launch there, and I'll figure something out. I've done that before, so I'll just try and figure something out. And so I started off the morning. I was just burning the bank with a buzz bait, and I caught one like little 13-inch spot, and I was like, then after that, I just wasn't getting bites. And I kind of like lost confidence. I was like, I'll throw something a little bit like I didn't feel like they were going to come up. So I just started throwing a chatterbait and pulled into a little pocket, and I caught 3 fish in the pocket, and my biggest was 16. When I caught the 16-incher, my like kayak like floated up, and then I just looked in the water and I see a little brim bed, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So then I just started looking for pockets, and I was just going in them, and as I was going around like the banks, I would just mark the brim beds on my fish finder.
Yeah, man.
And I was going around this corner, and I look, and I thought I saw a catfish because I've been seeing a bunch of them cruising the bank. It was a freaking bass. So I just grabbed my wacky worm, I threw it over there, and sure enough, he swam up and grabbed it like that. Like as soon as it hit the water, he swam over there and grabbed it. And that's my biggest fish ever, that 21.5.
On a wacky worm.
On a wacky. Yep. He was just cruising. I tossed it up to him. He didn't even notice I was there. I was really close to him too. Like I could not believe that he ate it. And I was so freaked out, and I screaming, lose my mind because he was giant. And I haven't caught a fish that big in a tournament. That's my biggest ever actually. So that was freaking awesome. The whole time I'm like panicking, like, please don't drop this fish in the water, because I could not imagine like that happening. Because
yeah, that'd be devastating, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I had lost a little 14-incher on the board earlier, and that was in the back of my head, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be the same situation. My camera wasn't like working. Like I kept like I was just having issues with my phone because I had it in a harness, and the harness was messed up, and I just took it out. I'm like, take a picture of this thing before it flops out of my freaking kayak. And then I was like, they just weren't biting the chatterbait anymore, so I just threw on a popper. I'm like, well, they're on bed, so I'll just throw a popper around, and kind of did the same thing, just burned around the bank and just threw a popper, and I had to end up catching my spotted bass 16.5.
Yeah.
But along the way, just kept marking beds, came back and fished all of them, and I caught tons of fish, but I couldn't seem to upgrade. They were just little 12, 13 inchers. That was it.
Most of your bites come on top water?
No, I ended up when I came back after I went with a popper down the bank. We just burning it. They just weren't touching it, but I was finding a bunch of beds along the way because I stayed real close to the bank. I just came back with a shaky head and parked my kayak pretty far away, and just threw a shaky head over there. Oh, I gotta say this: if you have an anchor wizard, get 2 of them, because this made such a big difference in my fishing. Like, because I used to have one anchor wizard, and I'd freaking drop the weight down, and then I would just spin in circles.
Yeah. Miss
hook sets and stuff. So I got 2 of them now, one in the front, one in the back, and I just sit right there, and I can, because I like to stand up when I fish on my kayak, and I'll stand there. And so if you got one, get 2. I'm telling you, it's really helpful to really trying to soak a spot, because I hate when like trying to keep position, and that made a huge difference catching the ones later in the day. But unfortunately, I didn't upgrade. I really wanted to, but it just didn't happen. And the whole time I'm scared Nick was going to get me, because I kept looking on TourneyX and seeing he's a 1/4 inch behind me. I'm like, oh man, this guy's he's right there. So thank goodness I held on to it. But I was really scared all day for that one.
Yeah, a lot of people like the sandbag, or they'll get close to you and they'll be like, all right, they know in their mind, all right, I got him, but I'm not gonna let him know I got him. When did your bite shut off? Like 11 o'clock or?
Big bite stopped. Like I never got another bite from like a bigger one. At least I don't think I did after like 9. But I caught tons of little ones the rest of the day. I never stopped catching them. Just couldn't get anything over like 13.
Yeah. That's been one thing. Just the different people that I've talked to, all of them had said the same thing. Some early. Some people's bite was 9 o'clock, like you said, and then a couple people I know caught them at 11, and nothing after that. But yeah, this weekend, man, I think that's going to be the ticket. Put them in the boat early. And we got lucky. Like we fished Mountain Island, and there was nobody out there, man. Like, and even after the tournament was over, it wasn't super busy. Not like you would think in the summertime. I mean, if this event would have been on Norman, I mean, it would have been like the freaking ocean out there, I'm sure. But Mountain Island didn't have a whole lot of traffic, and I don't know how Wiley was, but well, Michael, we'll look at your fish for a second. And so here's your big fish, 21.5.
You can see the oil from the fish all over my pants because I put it with legs so it wouldn't get away at first.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that fish on your lap, and I'm like, oh my gosh, man. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you just, need to come up with a net wall somehow to keep that sucker on there.
Yeah,
But
that's probably true.
that's a big largemouth, man, for 21 and a half inches. All right, here's your 16 and a quarter. A spotty. And he might have went 16 and a half almost, Michael. I mean, he's pretty darn close.
Yeah, his tail was all messed up, man.
Yeah, he's pretty close to the half-inch mark there. And here's your 16.
Thing was a football.
Yeah, he is, ain't he? He's a big old largemouth. 16-incher. You've been eating. And the estimated total, which, it says 10.4 pounds. So, probably not quite that much. That first fish is pretty big, though. What would you say that fish weighs?
5.5, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, he's over 4, I would say. Easy. Yeah, that's a nice fish. So what kind of popper were you throwing, if you don't mind disclosing?
I always
Rapala?
no, it was a Storm.
Yeah.
The cover pop. I love that thing. That's one of my favorite poppers. I also like the Rebel pop bar. You can't beat that one.
Oh yeah, you can't beat those. The little one seems to work better than the big one. I know. I was looking at I think it was Discount Tackle. They had some evergreen stuff on sale today. And their popper looks pretty cool. It's got like a sort of like the line tie that a chatterbait has. It's kind of a weird looking. It's not just the loop that
Yep.
like the popper. It's kind of weird looking. I was looking at that little popper. Poppers are fun to throw this time of year, and they'll produce bites. Well, good luck this weekend, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on. And Mike, can you hear us?
I can. I got disconnected for a minute.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, man, you were the man of the day. Michael put up 57 and a half inches and a 22 and a quarter inch big fish, and him and Jacob Davis won the team side pot. I mean, he just was the man of the day. He's going to the beach this weekend with $1,200 in his pocket. You're gonna put you need to just save that and put live scope on your boat. That's what.
Oh man.
Nick said he was fishing with live scope. Michael, you scoping?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Mike, you're not scoping either. Yeah. Well, tell us about your day, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, crazy day. I certainly didn't expect myself to be here on the live stream sitting talking to everybody. So definitely feel real blessed to have the opportunity.
Yeah.
It was a wild day. I pre-fished Wiley the week before and had spent most of or a few weeks before that fishing Mountain Island, mostly, for the monthly. I live near, or pretty much right on Mountain Island. So spend a lot of time there and tried to kind of figure out a game plan going into this tournament. Had my teammate Jacob and a few guys that I fish with regularly kind of give me the nudge to go big and fish my home lake and go for some of the bigger bites that I'd been fortunate to get in the monthly and pre-fishing. So I chose Mountain Island. Knew that I really had to focus in on my first couple hours, learned that pre-fishing that all my big bites, really all my bites were coming early and just needing to capitalize on it. So I got out, got to my spots as soon as I could and focused on top water, and started off early with a buzz bait, hitting the bank, hitting grass and near grass, anything that could be cover, and got a little nervous. Didn't get a single bite for the first 35 minutes of throwing, and I threw a lot.
Yeah.
So I got a little nervous there. Yeah, and my first bite was the 22 and a quarter. So it was a little nerve wracking. I knew it was a bigger fish when I hooked him. He stayed low. I was pulling my boat a little bit, and kind of got the tunnel vision, getting him in the net in the yak. And as you'd mentioned, I did my best to keep him on the board to get a good clean picture. And it was just really, big confidence builder. Going, knowing that I could go focus on my next spots. And
yeah,
that was my only bite on the buzzbait all day too. I threw it all the way to my next spot, and again, just focusing on lay downs and cover shallow. Switched to the frog, and my next 2 bites came on the frog, and next 2 bites landed me the 17 and 3/4 and 17 and a half. So I learned a lot pre-fishing, and in the monthly, I lost a lot of fish. I started fishing a frog in June, and I learned real quick. There's a lot of ways to lose fish fishing a frog. So really tried to dial in. I made sure my kayak was in the best position I could put it in, and made sure I was on my feet, ready to get a good hook set. And that was my goal, is just to make sure that the bites I got, I could capitalize on. And it worked out on Saturday, which was really cool and exciting. So
yeah. Your first tournament win?
I have one other win with my home crew with the hardcore guys.
Yeah.
On Wiley. So this is my second tournament win, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What buzzbait were you throwing? Were you throwing the BizBait stuff, the V Twin?
Yeah, the V Twin.
Yeah, that seems to be a ticket, man.
Has been really good. I actually have been fishing with it a lot. I kind of swapped that out for the Whopper. Just been producing a little bit bigger bite for me, fewer but quality, and definitely started building up some confidence with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that frog, I mean, I guess just a walking frog. Walking that sucker.
It's a Spro Bronzeye. It's funny. It's like the first frog. I picked up the frog fishing, last month, and it's the first one I tied on, and I started getting bites, so it stayed on, and it's been fun. Just you get to put a frog places you would never throw anything else.
Oh yeah. You throw it in the grass and drag it through it off the bank. I mean, you bend your hooks up on the frog?
I did.
That'll help with the hook set.
Got the hooks up a little bit. Trimmed down the legs. Yeah. So.
Michael, did you throw what buzzbait were you throwing?
I was throwing the Strike King buzz toe. I don't know what it's called. Strike King something.
Just the big knocker.
Yeah, just the regular one. Yeah.
Yeah, that BizBait V Twin. Have you seen that before?
I've never seen that before.
It's got 2 little props. They're smaller, and I think they sell it in a gold and a silver, prop. But I mean, they're like, I don't know, maybe a little bigger than a nickel, maybe not quite as big as a quarter. But that seems to be the ticket, like buzzbait wise, for Norman. I mean, maybe it's just because BizBaits is from this area, but a lot of people seem to throw that and catch fish with it.
I'm gonna have to give it a go. I never tried a double buzzbait before. Yeah,
it's not finesse really, but it's definitely smaller than like a Strike King. The props are small. It makes a different sound. Yeah, I mean, I've got one. I've never caught a fish on it. I just can't force myself to throw top water. After about 50 casts, I'm just like, all right, something else. But that produces the big bites, especially, in the summer, anything top water. But Mike, let's look at your fish here for a second. So here's Mike's 22.25 inch, and this will become the Foothills all-time biggest fish. And he's a toad, man. 22.25 inch largemouth. It's a big old fish. And here's a 17.75 from Mike. Another largemouth. He's a toad too, man. And let's see, a 17.75 or 17.50. So it was an all largemouth limit for you, Mike.
It was. I caught one more largemouth on the frog after that one. That was a little bit smaller, but yeah.
And then, Tourney X estimates, and I was looking at what it estimated at, and I was like, wow. But it says estimated weight of your limit would have been 12.58 pounds, which, with those being largemouth, I don't know, man. I think you got
a little bit heavy on the estimate.
Yeah. I mean, I think 10 pounds. I think you got 10 pounds in those 3 fish. I mean, that dude right there's 4 plus, easy. Michael's, I mean, there's Michael's 20 plus incher, and those fish, both of those fish are pretty darn big, easily over 4, pushing 5 pounders. This is Michael's second fish. I mean, he's probably pushing a 2 and some change, 2.8 maybe, 3. And then this last one's, 2.5. So yeah, man. I mean, I think you had over 10 pounds in 3 fish, easy. You don't have to go hit up a boat tournament, Michael.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, do you guys got anybody you want to shout out? Like Michael, does anybody support you?
Just the upstate anglers, guys. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout them out.
We had a good time teaming up with them. Cameron, we were talking Monday evening yesterday, and we're putting something together for next year. I think we're going to come maybe a little further south, and fish and let Cameron and them host an event. Maybe we'll do it through Tourney X still, but then and have a meetup afterward. That's one thing I wish we could have done for this one, but with it being Mountain Island and Wiley, I mean, those lakes are right beside each other, but you could easily have a 45-minute drive depending on where you had a weigh-in at. So,
oh yeah,
next year we're going to try to get up and have a weigh-in together. And Michael, we'd like to have you back out. We're fishing Norman August the 5th, and then we go to Lake James, which is up in the mountains.
Never been to that one before.
It's a clearwater smallmouth fishery. I mean,
okay.
It's and there's some big smallies up there. There's largemouth spotted bass too, but it's one of the few places, that we fish where you can catch a smallmouth. The closest lake to me where you can catch a smallmouth. So, and it'll start to be good around September. That lake will cool off, a few degrees quicker than Norman will, obviously. But so if you get a chance, man, slide on up there.
All right. Yeah, for
Greenville,
sure.
It's probably 2 hours for you from Greenville.
Yeah. I've been wanting to fish more of those North Carolina lakes, but man, it's a drive.
Yeah, it's a haul. I know a lot of the clubs from down in Raleigh, there's some good lakes down there. Jordan Lake, Sharon Harris, they're grass lakes, not really any docks. Some of the lakes are, there's not hardly any houses on Jordan and Sharon Harris. I don't know that there is a house.
In Jordan's a lake?
Yeah. I don't think there's a house. I guess it's owned by probably the power plant, Duke Power or something, but it's laydowns and grass. It's a cool fishery. I mean, it's something different than what I'm used to fishing. And well, Mountain Island this past weekend. I mean, I was surprised at how that place looked. I fished it one other time, I think maybe in the fall of the year, and man, there was just a ton of grass all over the place. And then it seems like the further up the river channel you go, it gets more grassy. Garrett sent me some pictures. He looked like he was in the Amazon or something. I mean, the grass was 4 foot tall, like up in the river channel there.
Wow.
And it looked like a really cool place to throw a frog and, to
Swim jig.
Yeah.
That's fun. Throwing a swim jig through the grass. That's a lot of fun. I love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a lot of grass lakes here, like around where I'm at. I haven't really fished much grass here. I thought I would, but not a lot.
Yeah, me neither. I guess Santee maybe has something, some pads and some cypress trees, something kind of, and some grassy areas. But yeah, the Catawba chain doesn't really have much of that, except for like Mountain Island and probably Fishing Creek, Watery. I've never fished down that way. You ever fish down towards Watery, Mike? No.
Mm-mm.
Well, Mike, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Anybody who's supported you?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to shout out to all the hardcore guys.
Yeah.
Really the reason I'm where I'm at today. I started kayak fishing a little over a year ago. They took me in, and I've just learned a ton. Going out, every week with them. Always ask them for tips and advice, and that group is just a great group to be around.
Oh yeah.
A lot of experience, a lot of brotherhood and sharing all the tips and tricks. So they've helped a ton. Big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, I seen Tim posted you were the rookie of the year, hardcore rookie of the year. Did you see that post?
I did. He got it on my timeline. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just a great group, and shout out to my teammate Jacob. We both got our limits and got it done. So, and he helped push me to make the right choice on training day after pre-fishing with me.
Well, there was an individual last week, I think Wednesday, that texted me and was talking to me, and he said, if Mike Barnes signs up, that's your winner right there. It was Richard May, and I was like, well, maybe, okay. So he called the shot, man. He's like, Mike's coming in first, and I'm coming in second. But
there you go.
Richard, I think, came in like 11th or something. But yeah, those guys had faith in you, a lot of confidence in you. Well, man, I appreciate you guys coming out and fishing. Nick, which y'all seen, he was out eating with his family. So I told him if he had to pop out, that was cool. But I appreciate him coming on board, and we wish him luck this weekend. And Michael, I hope it plays out for you this weekend too. You kind of know maybe what to do, where to start.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully not much has changed, but you know how fishing can be sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Catch them early, man. We'll be rooting for you for sure.
I appreciate that.
Put you
good luck.
Thank
money
you.
in your pocket. And Mike, thank you for corresponding with me and stuff this past week. It's been a pleasure. I hope you and your family have a great vacation. But if you guys don't have anything else, we'll just end it there. It's 34 minutes in. Great job on the interviewing. It's the first time I've done this too. Like I told you guys before, Garrett normally does it, but I think it went well.
Oh, I do got one more shout out, and I have to.
Go ahead.
So Chuck, one of my favorite fishing buddies, we've been chatting a lot recently, and it would be a miss not to give him a shout out for encouraging me and talking fishing all the way up to the tournament. So definitely.
Farmer?
Yep.
Chuck Farmer?
Farmer.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yep.
Good dude. He's fishing this weekend, QC, I'm sure. So
he is.
We wish Chuck the best too, man. Yeah, dude. The community, everybody I've met a lot of, Facebook friends, but everybody's super supportive and super encouraging, man. I mean, I've fished some bass tournaments with bass boats, and it ain't nothing like the kayak thing, not at all. People are willing to share information. The egos are like in check. That's one of the great things I love about kayak fishing. It's the community and stuff. But Michael, if we can help you do anything, you let us know. And Mike, I guess we'll see you again on Lake Norman, right?
I'll be there.
All right, man. We look forward to it. Y'all have a great rest of your week. I'm gonna pull you guys out. I'm gonna go spin the wheel. We do a raffle wheel and give away a couple free entries at the end of every live stream. But I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
So that was it, guys. Nick Huddleston, Michael Duran, and Mike Barnes. Appreciate those dudes coming on and sitting down and talking to us for a minute. All the Foothills anglers that are fishing Queen City this weekend, we wish you the best. Nick will be rooting for you. Michael will be rooting for you as well, and others too. Hope to see some of the group that fishes with us at the top of the leaderboard this weekend. But we're going to go over and we're going to spin the wheel every week or every event. After the live stream, we give away 2 free entries for members, courtesy of Life Ring Ministries. And Life Ring Ministries is it's a couple guys that are members of the Foothills group, and they've chose to just remain anonymous. Some of you guys know who they are, but we appreciate not only them supporting our club, but just the mission that they do. It's a men's ministry where they come alongside and disciple men through Bible study. And, that's just an honorable thing to do, especially in this day and age. But we appreciate those individuals' willingness to support our little club and give away a couple free entries at each event. It's been a blessing. And the way we do the wheel, we're going to spin it. And if you've won before, and I think I got in my mind all those who have won before. So if you've won a free entry before, you're not going to be able to win it but once. And that basically, gives you your membership back. If you win one free entry, that paid for your $30 membership. So in order to just spread it around, we've limited to where you can only win one free entry for the year. But like I said, that gives you your membership money back if you have won a free entry. But we're going to spin this wheel, and we're going to do it twice. So here we go. Oh, look who it is. Chuck Farmer. Mike was just talking about Chuck. Chuck, you got a free entry for the next event, courtesy of Life Ring Ministries. And we'll let you know if you don't see it here. And we're going to spin it one more time. Who's it going to be? Oh. Kinley's already won one free entry. So sorry, Kinley. We're gonna spin it a third time. Oh. Dean Lyons. I'll tell you what, Dean had just went through some surgery, and I'm not sure that he'll be able to fish with us anymore this year. So for now, we're going to spin it again. And if Dean ends up making it back and able to fish an event, then I'll come out of pocket for Dean and pay for his free entry fee. But we'll spin it one more time here. Are you kidding me? Jackie Hughes. Jackie, I think you've won an event, or has Jackie had a free event, Ash? Yeah. Jackie's had a free event too. Thought we're gonna spin it again. John Ladd's had a free event. Come on. Oh, man, are you kidding me? Got to be somebody that hadn't got a free one. Billy Hagerman. Billy, you win a free entry for any event here at these last 3 events. So Billy will let you know that you won. Garrett, if you're watching, you can let Billy know that he's got a free entry fee of his choosing. So Chuck and Billy, you guys are the free entry winners. And that's pretty much it, guys. I see, quite a few people watch tonight. I appreciate you guys, tuning in and listening to Mike and Nick and Michael. And we look forward to the next event. Your AOI standings are up, and check those out. They're up in the files tab on the group page from this last event. But we look forward to the next one, August the 5th, Lake Norman. It'll be our 6th event, and drops will start being calculated after that one. And the plan is to have a live weigh-in for the August 5th event, and we'll probably do it at Pinnacle Boat Ramp again, like we did the last Norman event. And we're gonna do some extra giveaways for those who show up at the live weigh-in this time. It's just easy. Norman's one of the lakes that's easy to do a live weigh-in on, because you can reach pretty much any boat ramp at within 20-30 minutes easy. So that's the plan. Live weigh-in August the 5th. We'll go ahead and say it, Pinnacle Boat Ramp. And we're going to do some extra raffles for those who show up for that live weigh-in. Got a lot of stuff that's been given to Foothills that we're going to try to unload in these last 3 events. But guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we look forward to the next one, and appreciate all the support given the Foothills this year. And I'll end with that. But thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all.